Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to Big Mouth Live. Welcome. A bit earlier than normal. What time is it? It's 7:30 Cyprus time. It's 5:30 UK time. There's no one here right now. There might not be. Oh, Ronnie Dodge, you're early today, mate. I was just saying, Ronnie, and I was wondering if anyone was going to come in because I was early. So, first of all, I want to discuss a Shazam possible plot leak, and I really want to talk about this bullshit about the Batman as well. So, welcome everyone. There is an article here from comicbook.com. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Shazam Fury of the Gods rumor could spoil romance plotline for mysterious new character by Jamie Lovett of comicbook.com. Gods may have leaked. A romantic subplot in Shazam Fury of the Gods may have leaked out early. In February, West Side Story's Rachel Zegler joined cast of Warner Brothers Shazam sequel. Oh my God, I used to follow Rachel. She's got a bigger mouth and more opinionated than I am. I shouldn't be called Big Mouth. She should. I had to unfollow her. She was really winding me up. While the studio keeps her role under wraps, some have wondered if she could relate to Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu's characters, Hespera and Calypso respectively. The theory was that they would be playing a version of the three fates seen in various mythologies, often represented in popular culture as a trio of sisters of varying ages, the crone, the mother, and the maiden. Now that the Shazam Fury of the Gods is filming, reports are surfacing of offering some interesting new context for Zegler's role and perhaps reveal a romantic entanglement. According to a report from Murphy's Multiverse, Zegler is playing a character named Anne who goes to school with Billy Batson, Freddie Freeman. She takes a particular interest in Freddie and flirts with him, but Anne seems to be more than a teenage girl. She was also reportedly filming a rooftop scene wearing golden armor, suggesting she has some power. So I've got a theory about this, and I'll tell you after I've read this. Ronnie Dodge, not in a good place today, family drama, so you will cheer me up. Yes, absolutely. If Anne is the maiden, the youngest of the Fate sisters, she could pass for a high school student to achieve some purpose. The report notes that the name Anne does... Go away, notifications! If Anne is the maiden and the youngest of the Fate sisters, she could pass for a high school student to achieve some purpose. The report notes that the name Anne doesn't fit well with the Hespera and Calypso. Still, it could be a false nickname meant to help whomever Zegler is playing blend into modern society. Angel Asher, or should we say Asher Angel even, returns to play Billy Batson in Shazam Fury of the Gods, along with Jack Dylan Grazer and Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman? I nearly said Freddie Highmore. Zachary Levi plays Batson's superpowered alter ego Shazam. Levi celebrated the beginning of production on the sequel when cameras started rolling in May. Ronnie Dodge, she's going to try to get in between Billy's and Freddie's friendship. It's kind of similar to the theory that I have. Shazam Fury of the Gods is officially underway. Levi posted on Instagram, so grateful to WB Pictures, New Line Cinema, DC Comics, etc., all for seeing the 16-year-old inside me and believing he could be there, big red cheese. Actual 16-year-old me would be shitting himself if he knew what his future was going to hold. I legit sit around and just feel overcome with gratitude when I allow myself to look back through my life and see all the countless blessings, the unearthly and immense amount of protection, provision, and providence God has orchestrated in my life, Levi wrote. All right, Zach, don't get carried away. So that's the article. Now, Ronnie Dodge to destroy Shazam. Yeah, obviously she's some kind of spy, fifth columnist. She's been put into the school to distract Billy Batson, even probably to seduce Billy. So that's my ongoing theory. So that is very, very interesting. Now, this is a theory. This is not a leak. No one's leaked this. This is just a theory. Now, of course, anyone could have this theory. Leroy Kong, I hope that Henry Cavill appears in Shazam Fury of the Gods. I believe he will, Leroy. So that's very good news if that is the case. So, yes, they're filming Shazam. They're filming Black Adam. I believe, Leroy, that he will appear in Black Adam and Shazam Fury of the Gods. That is my ongoing theory. Right. My frenemy, Grace Randolph, is rambling and repeating the mad ramblings of Doomcock, that the Batman is in trouble, that Warner Brothers have concerns about the Batman. Now, studios always have concerns about films, by the way. But of course, this is utter bullshit. Now, she's trying to say there's some element of mental health in the movie that the studio are concerned about. Now, they're sending with every Blu-ray, they're sending this, the Batman, out in 2022. Ronnie Dodge, hopefully Superman turns up and helps Billy against them. I think he will. I think he's got a big role in that film. That's the one he's probably going to go and shoot first, by the way. Then he'll dribble off to Black Adam. That's my theory. And so, oh yeah, I've read Leroy Kong's one, yeah. So, these are going out everywhere. Robert Pattinson has signed an overall deal with Warner Brothers, so they're happy with him as the Batman. Matt Reeves is doing a spin-off for HBO Max. So how are they concerned, right? And why, if you were concerned, why would you be sending the Batman out in 2022? Leroy Kong, the Batman will be overrated. It will do well. I think the Batman will do well. I think it will be the most successful Batman film of all time. People have seen a little bit of a teaser for it and already are excited. So Randolph could be right. Randolph could be right that they have concerns about the movie. But as I've said before, studios are always nervous about certain elements in films. It doesn't really matter. They're trying to make this thing bigger than it is. And it really does wind me up that people are falling for this. But of course, some people want to fall for this, want to believe the film has problems. Now, of course, there's been purported rumours about Robert Pattinson having sex with the young woman playing Catwoman, Selena Kyle, and getting her pregnant. Now, we know this is utter bullshit. Ryan Cinematics, I hope no one else is taking this false farce seriously. I'm afraid, Ryan, people are taking this seriously because they're idiots, but they want to take it seriously because it forwards their agenda. So it's utter bullshit, of course. Ronnie Dodge, who cares if the Batman is dark? I'm excited for it. It's going to be the best Batman. Listen, Batman, Tim Burton's Batman was dark. Nolan's Batman was dark. Snyder's Batman was dark. They're always damn dark. Leroy Kong, all in all, Ben Affleck will always be my best Batman ever. We need more Batfleck. Christian Bale is my best Batman ever. Affleck was good in BVS. I think he was better in BVS than he was in Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut and in Justice League. That's just my opinion. But of course, this is all utter bullshit. That really doesn't matter. And it just goes to show you what kind of YouTuber Grace Randolph is for even tweeting this nonsense. Now, I couldn't see her whole tweet because I'm blocked by her. So that's fine. I don't want to be able to see that woman's tweets because she's like Marmite. Sometimes she's good, sometimes she's not. Today, in my book, she's not very good. She's purporting the mad ramblings of Doomcock, who speaks utter bullshit. But let's just go on and on and on. We know that Grace is a Snyder stan. We know that she's trying to forward a narrative. Grace Randolph, when it comes to DC, really can't be trusted. May I remind you, the sausage in the diamond, right? I'll put it that way. The Wonder Woman 84 Flashpoint. Do we all remember that? Do we all remember that? Did you see something in a diamond in Birds of Prey? Did you see a Flashpoint Wonder Woman 84? No, you did not. Do you remember the argument she had with Kathy Yang, right, for spreading such rumours? Kathy denied it on Twitter and exposed Grace Randolph. Do you really believe you can? Do you really think you can believe this woman? Well, you can't. Ronnie Dodge, Grace tells more lies than Pinocchio. Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised her nose doesn't go down to her knees. It really is horrible. That really triggered me. But these are the kind of people we're dealing with in fandom, right? These are the manipulators of the innocent. the innocent, anything to get views, anything to get likes, anything to get butts in seats. They are the worst thing about entertainment. And the industry, of course, hate Grace Randolph, right? This is a failed Z-list actor, right? Who claims to have contacts. And maybe she has. She probably has, right? And maybe they have concerns about the movie. But as I've already said, studios always have concerns. But Matt Reeves will get his way, right? I suppose if we get some reshoots in the following weeks, maybe the rumours are true. I don't expect that, but we will see. So I believe everything is well with the Batman. If I were you, I wouldn't believe anything you hear. There's some kind of jealousy towards Matt Reeves. There's some kind of conspiracy against him. I don't know why. I know where it's coming from, unfortunately, and it's very unkind because Matt Reeves was very respectful to this person. Anyway, Ryan Cinematics, it's a shame, but still looking forward to seeing the Batman in every DC films. Me too, Ryan. Me too. I'm very excited. Listen, Ryan, you can't help the bullshit that people are going to come out and say. And you've just got to, it's got to go, as a filmmaker, you've just got to laugh at it because it is a joke. These people are relentless and ruthless going for this film. But why? Because their beloved Batfleck, because of Snyder. Keep going. Keep going, Grace. It's over. Do you understand me? It's over, Grace. Get over it. Let's not forget how toxic this woman is to Henry Cavill, to David Ayer as well. She insisted that the Ayer cut shouldn't release before the Snyder cut. And in terms of narrative, of course the Ayer cut should release before the Snyder cut, but they didn't do it. So, yes, there's that. So please ask me some questions. Please make some comments. Ronnie Dodge, I don't believe in this bull because Rob has a deal. Rob has a deal. Everything seems to be going well. But as I say, sometimes studios have concerns about a film. You know, this is as old as fucking Laurel and Hardy and Charlie Chaplin. So it doesn't really mean anything. It's utter nonsense. John, hi, mate. How are you feeling today? I've been all right all day. Then I had a beer and I feel a bit lightheaded, bit of a headache, but I'm a pro and I will keep on going. So thank you for asking. DC have 5 potentially awesome movies in development, and it's exciting. And some people can't handle it because it's moving away from the Snyderverse. Well, I'm sorry that your butt hurt, but they are moving away from the Snyderverse. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. You either embrace this or you don't embrace it. It's entirely up to you, really, isn't it? I mean, it's been toxic since Anne Sarnoff's article with Variety. She was blatant. No Ayer cut, no more Snyderverse. Zack's had his trilogy. That's it. There's no going back. They've made it clear. But it's not fair for the fans who believe this bullshit, who subscribe to these people. I did see a video about Spider-Man Far From Home. What were they saying? Basically, I think it's the same thing as we already know, that apparently the Green Goblin, played by William Dafoe, will be the main villain of the movie, and a main character dies. I'm saying it's Aunt May. Correction, Aunt Bay. Ronnie Dodge can book my jab from tomorrow. Awesome. Enjoy. I had Pfizer. I'm kind of relieved that I kept away from AstraZeneca because anything that Boris Johnson's involved with, I feel uneasy about. So, but I think you people in the UK in the next few weeks are going to be in trouble with this variant again. I really do. Sam Dejan reviews. Tobey Maguire will die in No Way Home. Nope. And no, he and Andy Garfield have got a big future with Sony's side of Marvel. Ronnie Dodge, the Snyderverse fans are angry. They're going to go cry and throw their little dummies out of the pram. Yeah, that's what it is. And they will say anything and they will do anything to try and destabilize what's going on. And it's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if WB make a statement about the Batman. Sam Dejan reviews. Why will Aunt May die? Worst Aunt May ever. Nobody likes her. Pointless. Killer. Why did they cast her as Aunt May? I think most of the casting for the MCU Spider-Man is shit. John, I cannot believe all this stuff they are saying about the Batman. I mean, it's easy to make up lies, John. These people have got diarrhea of the mouth, and they will say and do anything, especially some of these YouTubers. These are very, very desperate people. And there's no one more desperate than Ms. Grace Randolph. I mean, Grace Randolph would vote a film down if the person in the film hasn't got the right hairstyle for her. That's how off her nut she is. Well, you know, her hair and makeup, I'm not sure about that. I love the way her eyes light up when Snyder's doing an interview with her. Well, Zach, how are you doing? Ronnie Dodge, what I read, it's Ned that dies from the leak, if true. Well, either Aunt May or Ned. I'm quite happy with that. I don't care. I simply don't care. They can die. Sam's reviews. Why does Grace hate Jessica Chastain? Because Grace is a sandwich short of a picnic. That's why. I really don't know. Maybe they knew each other in the early days, right? Hasn't mentioned that, though, has she? I know where the bodies are buried. When you spend 6 months in Hollywood, you hear whispers. Sam the Jam reviews. Grace also hates Ezra Miller. She doesn't like him as the Flash. I wouldn't have picked him as the Flash. I think he's done a good job as the Flash. He wouldn't be my number one choice for the Flash. I mean, you could even argue that Grant Gustin should have been given the job from the beginning. That's just my personal opinion. I think that casting was perfect. But he's there. He's all right. I don't have an issue with him. He's very passionate about the Flash, that's for sure, which I like. And he has opinions how the story should be. That I like and respect very much. I like actors, I like artists to be passionate about what they're doing. And, you know, someone like Harrison Ford doesn't give a shit. Ronnie Dodger, I wish Andy casted Jessica Chastain as Nora just to piss off Grace. Yeah, that would have been funny. His casting choices are pretty awesome, you know, though. I've been very impressed. I wonder who he would have liked to cast as the Flash. That'd be an interesting question for him. Sam Dejan reviews. Why doesn't Barry have blonde hair? Grant and Ezra don't have it. I know he's blonde, but they decided to go with black hair. I don't know why. I don't think it's important, Sam. Not to me personally, anyway. It's the same as Sasha, isn't it? Having dark hair instead of the blonde hair. I'm bored of the Barbie doll Supergirl. I want a Supergirl that's lived, that's straight smart, who's relatable. So I'm very bored of the Barbie doll. Hi, I'm Cara Zor-El. Let's have a coffee and talk about my love life. Boring. Let's bring this kick-ass version played by Sasha Calle. And I can't wait to see what she gives us. I love the way I surprised you all by coming in half an hour early. That was funny. It's because we had ready-made food tonight. Well, the original Mick had hair, and now he's bald. So that's betraying the origin story, isn't it? Ronnie Dodge, I wasn't keen on Ezra at first, but Zack's Justice League made me excited for the Flash movie and see him bounce off Keaton's Batman. Listen, he's a really talented actor and I like him. And it's not that I didn't like him at first or anything like that. I thought he was okay. But he wouldn't have been my first choice. He might be my third or fourth choice. But basically, it's a DNA casting. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine. But he was cast on DNA. Snyder casts lots of people on DNA, by the way. Cavill was a surprise because he's not cast on DNA. Cavill, basically, what's this? Your PC could be at risk. Oh, go away. Go away. Get off my bloody mentions. But Henry Cavill wasn't cast on DNA. Although the original casting was the guy who ended up playing Deathstroke. So that's interesting. Imagine him as Superman. I would not have been happy with that casting. Ronnie Dodge, I want a Supergirl that's multi-layered, and that's what Sasha is going to give us. Yep, that's what we need. It's about time we get a rough and ready Supergirl rather than the Barbie and the perfect looks and the perfect white teeth. It's going to be interesting. But I do foresee a Kara Zor-El that's been on Earth for a while that might even be homeless. She may even be homeless. She may even live in a homeless shelter. She could be the woman of the streets, not the girl of steel. Obviously, she is the girl of steel. And Designated Power Driver, I've heard it was Doomcock that started all these rumours about Batman. Yes, Designated Power Driver, it was. I mean, these are rumours that have been going on forever, but he came out with these ones. And Grace Randolph is echoing this. Imagine echoing something from fucking Doomcock. Now, I watch his videos for a laugh, but I don't take them seriously. John, are you going to watch Batman The Long Halloween? Oh, yes. Really looking forward to that one. Isn't it in 2 parts? Batman The Long Halloween is one of the great Batman stories, isn't it? So it's an event. Designated Power Driver. Exactly. Doomcock is pathetic. You said that, not me. I don't mind watching. Look, if I'm having a cigarette outside, I don't mind watching his videos to pass the time. But as I say, I don't take the geezer seriously. I mean, the bloke's a joke. John, yes, it is. Yes, it's in 2 parts. I thought so. I've pre-ordered the first one, but I don't think the second part's available yet. So I'm looking forward to having that in my ownership to watch it. It's all DC, and I want it all injected in my veins like that COVID vaccine was yesterday. He has the work in he has the word in his name. Yeah, I can't read that out, but I get what you're saying. Designated Power Driver, word. Word. But yeah, it is a lot of nonsense. Of course it is. But unfortunately, when we've got a mixture of fans, that some are DC fans, some have agendas, and it's difficult to, I don't know, maneuver these situations. I'm happy I have this kind of experience to see through the bullshit. Some people don't. When I first went onto the internet about 2013, I was like believing everything I fucking read. And then I got wise that a lot of it is bullshit. Oh, yeah, I remember naive old me in 2013 coming onto Twitter. I used to call my Twitter Smallville, was it Smallville Mad? That's what I used to call my Twitter, Smallville Mad, yeah. And every tweet was about Smallville, I remember it. Smallville this, Smallville that. Ronnie Dodge, have you seen the picture of the Shazam costume with the cape? I'm not sure if that's the one I've got here. Let's have a look. I did see a couple of leaked images. Ah, yes, here we are. Here we are. Don't know if you can see it. No, the lighting's absolutely terrible. Can you see that one? Yeah, very faint, isn't it? But yes, I do have them here. So he is wearing a cape. More rumours of him not wearing a cape are gone now. So I like my Shazam wearing a cape. The cape looks awesome. And it looks like he's in character here. So it's very, very exciting, Ronnie, yes. I'm on the ball for once there, Ronnie, on the ball. I caught the images, so I thought I'd save them. So he looks great. He looks great, and I can't wait. The DCEU has loads of films for us to get excited about. I can't wait to review Shazam, Black Adam, The Batman, The Flash movie. You know, so exciting. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, Green Lantern Corps, Gotham PD. We have so much to look forward to. I can't wait to review the Superman movie as well. It's all very, very exciting as far as I'm concerned. John, who would you cast as Batgirl? How, John, I'm not that knowledgeable on her comic book origins. How old is she in the comics? Joe Davies, Mickey, the only thing you should be excited for is England winning the Euros. I would be excited by that, Joel, but I've got a song for you. Dream, dream, dream. Yeah, John, how old is Batgirl? Roddy Dodge, Snyder fans also playing part in it as well, so they can say their precious Batfleck movie if it fails. Yeah, I know exactly what they're up to. Sandra Jan Hughes, Catherine should play Batgirl. Who's Catherine? So who would I get to play Batgirl? This is an interesting one. And I'm trying to think now. John, I'm not sure. Leroy Kong, as always, great live. I see that you have a lot of enemies. I'm nobody's enemies. I will continue spreading positivity and love. Keep up the good work. I've got a lot of enemies. Leroy? What? No, my friend, I don't have any enemies, my friend. They're not my enemies. If people are throwing hate at me, that's fine, but I don't have any enemies myself. Random people who throw hate at me are not important enough for me to make them my enemies. They're just silly little people. But they're starting to realise that I'm moving away from their stunted little fandom, and maybe they're throwing some shade at me, and that's up to them, but they're not important enough to be my enemies. Sam Zan reviews, Catherine Langford would be interesting, but does she have the screen presence? I don't know if I can think of Leroy Kong. Oh, okay, Mick. It's interesting that you're talking about my enemies. You must know these people, because I don't know of any enemies, my friend. Ronnie Dodge looks great. Just need a first look at Barry's new suit. I'm just trying to think of actresses for the Batgirl. Well, the girl who played Jenny in Man of Steel, if she wasn't in Man of Steel, would have been interesting. I kind of like her. Who else? Sam Jam Hughes. Catherine Langford was in Endgame, but she was cut. That's right, yeah. I think it would be quite nice to actually use an unknown for Batgirl and all these future heroes, rather than going for fan casts and this one or that one. I would like to see an unknown. A Sam Jam Hughes, Anya Taylor-Joy. That could be interesting, yeah. But I don't have any preconceived fan castings for Batgirl or anyone else. Karen Gillan as Batgirl. She's probably a little bit too old, isn't she, to be Batgirl? But I'm not sure how old she is. Karen's got great quality. I doubt it's her, though. Be interesting, though. Karen is my Scottish goddess. I love Karen. Karen's brilliant. From Doctor Who to the Avengers. What a success story. And who discovered her? One Stephen Moffat. Leroy Cohn, we need the Bat family. Sam Dejan reviews, Daisy Ridley. Daisy's got a lot of quality, but no. This is what I'm talking about. It's no point going for someone famous. You may as well pick an unknown. It's better because then you don't see the ego or the past roles. You just see Batgirl. So I think that's better. Gal Gadot, I'd never heard of her. I'd never seen her in anything else before Wonder Woman. That's why she works so well as Wonder Woman. Get an unknown. It's for the best. Although she's going to be in Sandman, I would have gone for Jenna Coleman from Doctor Who. She would have been interesting as well. I don't think they'll go for a white actress. I think they'll go for a Latino maybe. Sam Dejan reviews. I knew Gal in Fast and the Furious. I'd never seen those films, so I'd never seen her in those, Sam. But apparently, everyone, I've got lots of enemies. I wonder what fandom they come from. There was a bunch of idiots actually DMing me, pretending they were fans of mine, trying to throw shade at me. These are the kind of boring people who can't handle other opinions. It's very, very sad, isn't it, and pathetic. But no matter what you say about me, what you do to me, or try and do to me, I still live in a mansion with a swimming pool. I've got a balcony. I sleep in a 4-poster bed. What have you got? Sam Dejan review. She died in Fast and Furious. There are rumours she will come back in the next movie. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't follow that franchise, so I'm not bothered by that. I wonder if Gal's been to London or Scotland lately. Leroy Kong, all in all, DC will always be a win for me. DC is number one. It is Leroy. Sam Dejan reviews. I can't believe we are getting Batgirl movie before Nightwing. Does it matter? Does it matter? Haven't we got Nightwing in Titans, my friend? So don't you think it's fair that Batgirl comes first? Leroy Kong, Gal is now pregnant. Yeah, she's not far away from giving birth, I don't think, Leroy. And these actresses get back into shape so quickly these days. Not an issue. So she'll give birth, spend some time with her baby and her husband. Really nice husband, by the way. Nice guy. Very down to earth. And yes, she'll be back. She could have already done her role. And Gal never shows she's pregnant. She's not the type that looks so pregnant, so it's cool. Unless they want to do a Steve Trevor getting Diana pregnant, that'd be fun. So the pregnancy isn't an issue. Sam Dejan reviews. Will we see Wonder Woman's sister in the DCEU? Yes, I think we will. Maybe a Flash movie reveal. John, we are going to get Red Hood in Titans season 3. Yeah. So if it's in Titans, it doesn't all have to be thrown into the DCEU, does it? Because after Flashpoint, Titans will be canon anyway. Everything will be canon in this live-action universe, all connected. That's why I'm so excited for this multiverse strategy. By the way, I wouldn't make a very good enemy anyway. This is me. I don't get wound up by people for long. I can be angry with people, but like 5 minutes later, I calm down and I just don't care enough to have feuds with people. People can have feuds with me as long as they like. It's up to them. But it's boring to me. I'm about the love. If you're not about the love, carry on hating. Hate only hurts the hater. You don't hurt me. You hurt yourselves. Sandra Jan Reviews, I want Plastic Man in the DCEU. Yes, that was going to happen. I don't know what's going on there. I loved him in Batman the Brave and the Bold. I think he was excellent and actually pretty much copy and pasted from the comics as well. So he's a bit like a Shazam, isn't he? Kind of more of a lighter character. So I'd love to see him in the DCEU. Do you know who I'm desperate to have a role in the DCEU? Freddie Highmore. He's such a brilliant actor. Sandra Jan Reviews, Ben Schwartz should play Plastic Man. I don't know who that is. Michael Rosenbaum needs to join the DCEU as Lex Luthor. That's what I'm saying. John, what did you think of Deathstroke in Arrow? Oh my God. He's better than the DCEU version. There, I said it. First 2 seasons, right? They built him up so well. He earned the right to be Deathstroke. The plan against Oliver, the murdering of Moira was devastating. John, he's the best live action version. He was amazing. I really loved Arrow seasons 1 and 2. I hate Arrowverse after that, after Flash and Arrow seasons 1 and 2. But yeah, he's the best version. Sanders and Reviews. Will he be a burglar first, then fall? Will he be a burglar first, then fall in the acid? Well, that would be fun if that's the case. But I don't know. I think so, yeah, probably. Maybe. Maybe not, maybe. I mean, if you can hate someone like me, right? If you can hate someone like me, then you must make enemies for breakfast. Sanders and Reviews. I want to see Joe Manganiello return as Deathstroke. Actually, that would be fun. I'd like the Arrow version to join the DCEU. It's really weird, you know. Yeah, and you know what? Joe Manganiello was Snyder's original choice for Superman. I mentioned it earlier. That's nuts. No way could he have been a good Superman. I'm sorry. Joe Manganiello's Superman. I'm sorry, Zach. This is when you get a bit dodgy, mate. Joe Manganiello as Superman. Come on, Snyder stands. Even you can't think that's a good idea. Surely. And by the way, I'm still pissed off about the Metallo thing. Metallo should have been the villain in BVS, not Doomsday. John, I agree with you. Deathstroke in Arrow was great. He's the best. He's the best they've done. He's better than the Titans version. He's better than the DCEU version. Sorry, Snyder stands. It's my fact. It's my opinion. He was brilliant. The writing, the performance. As I say, John, they gave him this great arc and it was wonderful. I really did enjoy it. Arrow in the first 2 seasons was on the level of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. That's how good it was. It was amazing. Stephen Amell always played the role brilliant, even when the show was shit. Sanders and Reviews, Smallville Deathstroke. He was terrible. He was a good actor, by the way, but he wasn't really. They did a lot of good, great versions of DC characters. And let me take that back. He wasn't terrible, but he's not the kind of person I would have cast. But we saw him for 1 episode, I think. So it was just a cameo, really. He just didn't make much of an impression on me. But most of the Smallville DC casts are fucking amazing. I still think Smallville's the best DC live action franchise ever for everything they did from seasons 1 to 10. I think they were sensational. Smallville Impulse, brilliant. Smallville Aquaman, not bad. Not as good as Momoa, of course. Let's be honest about it. Oliver Queen, brilliant. I don't think he's as good as Amell's version because Amell's a darker version, but he's probably more faithful to what he is in the comics than the Amell version. Who else? Who else did we have? Lex Luthor, best Lex Luthor, Rosenbaum. Lionel Luthor is not from the comics, but at last we had an awesome father, a Lex Luthor father, Lex's dad. Amazing. John Glover just made that role his own. Sanders and Reviews. Blue Beetle is shooting in late 2021. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Actually, I think, Sam, it's shooting earlier than that. Maybe I've got my wires crossed, but I think it's shooting soonish, by the way. So is Blue Beetle going to be released in movie theatres on HBO Max? What's happening there? Cyborg in Smallville. Yeah, Cyborg in Smallville was great. And do you know what? It's kind of emotional talking about that lad because he died. But he was a really, really good Cyborg and didn't have issues with anyone at Warner Brothers. Isn't that refreshing? But he was a great Cyborg and I liked him. I think they did the effects for Cyborg quite well. It was quite clever what they did because Smallville's budget, much less than the Arrowverse budget, obviously, but they did their best with it and I liked him. And I liked the fact that it was, we met his girlfriend and, Clark reunited him with his girlfriend, which was cool. Smallville, let's talk about Smallville's DC characters. Who else did they do? Zatanna was brilliant. Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was beyond what I ever expected. He was great. And really the depiction of Kent Nelson's insanity through wearing the helmet of Naboo was brilliant. Booster Gold, a great version of Booster Gold. They really did a good job. The episode was written by Jeff Johns brilliantly, of course. Blue Beetle was a really good version of a DC character as well. They did some, they were quite faithful with the comics as well. Leroy Com, I will be off now again. Great live. I like this video. Thank you very much. Peace to you. DC Zack Snyder for life. Good night, Leroy Com. John, have you watched Doom Patrol? Yes, I love Doom Patrol. I watched the first season and the first couple of episodes of season 2, but as usual, I'm very useless. I need to catch up with it. But Doom Patrol is one of my favourite live-action DC things ever. So well done, isn't it? Sam Jan reviews. Martian Manhunter. Yes. He is the best live-action Martian Manhunter. I've spoken to the actor on Twitter. He's great. He's better than the version we had in the Snyder Cut because it's not fair to say that because we haven't had much of a chance with him. Definitely better than David Harewood in Supergirl. He was great. They got that character bang on. Bang on. Smallville just were really good with these characters. So let's think about the characters who cameoed. Brainiac. Brilliant Brainiac. He looks nothing like Brainiac. He hasn't got the skull ship. But James Masters really gave a great performance. I loved his Brainiac. And the way he played it, he felt like Brainiac. Now, as I say, he doesn't look like Brainiac. Kudos to Krypton for making him look like Brainiac. But I really like James Masters' version as Brainiac. He was awesome. As I say, Smallville really knew what they were doing with these characters. Because most of them, if not all of them, right, were pretty well cast and written. And Sam Jan reviews, I hate the Smallville Doomsday. Well, I want to discuss this because I think Sam Witwer was brilliant as Davis Bloom. And I thought it was a great creative conceit to have this Bruce Banner Hulk thing where actually, Davis Bloom would become Doomsday. So I actually liked that and I liked the emotions and the arc that Davis went through. And I think Sam did great with it and should have been Zod in the next season. Big mistake that they didn't do that. But, so they couldn't afford to do a good CG Doomsday, which means they shouldn't have done Doomsday. Sam Dejan review, Smallville Metallo, loved him. Brian Austin Green did a great job. He looks so good as Metallo as well. Yet, thus far, my favourite live-action version of Metallo, definitely. The one in Supergirl was terrible. Sam Dejan reviews, Darkseid Smallville. The idea of the heroes being, hunted down and, being made to register and all of that was great. The effects for him were terrible. And don't get me started on Darkseid Lionel Luthor. Absolutely terrible. What a slight for John Glover to have to do that as well in the series finale. So they got that wrong, unfortunately. Again, they couldn't afford to do Darkseid, and they didn't do him justice, unfortunately. So you shouldn't do it. If you don't have the budget and you don't think you can put it off, don't do it. Sam Jan reviews, I hate the Smallville Black Canary. I actually love the Smallville Black Canary. And what a shame she didn't have more to do. I thought she was great. I love her first episode, Siren. I thought she was great in that episode as well. John, do you remember when Michael Ironside was in Smallville? Yeah, Sam Lane, General Sam Lane, he was great. Michael Ironside is one of my favourite actors as a young man. I loved him in V as Ham Tyler, and it was great, always great to see Michael in anything. He was in Highlander 2 as well, Total Recall. But yeah, he was born to play Sam Lane again. We didn't see enough of it. But I think Michael's quite a busy actor as well, so that might have been an issue. But it was great to see him in the role. Yes, and what about Superboy Connor Kent? I prefer him to the one that they've done in Titans. I thought he was brilliant. When I found out they were doing Connor Kent in the final season of Smallville, I was screaming. I said, oh my God, how many more achievements do these people want to have? I was so excited. Smallville Lucy Lane. Yeah, she's all right. I mean, I'm not a big Lucy Lane fan. She did an okay job. She's a pretty good actor. She's been in so many things as well. But we didn't get to see enough of her. But they did well with her because, you know, we saw what she was up to with the villains in that episode she was in. The first episode she was in, and I thought she was great, by the way, yeah. But not a big Lucy Lane fan. Although I love Lucy Lane in Supergirl, I thought that was great casting. Definitely better than the Smallville version. Sandra Jan-Hughes, will she be in the DCEU? Lucy Lane, well, I think we're looking at, this is an interesting one. Now that we've got a multiverse, they can actually use all the existing Lois Lanes. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Amy Adams. She may get a cameo in The Flash, but I think they're going to move away from her. So, yes, I think there's an opportunity for a version of Lucy Lane for sure. But again, it's not something I'm looking out for. It's not a character that really interests me or excites me. So, but Smallville, wow. What a job that show did. That show earned the right to be a superhero show. It wasn't always a superhero show. It started slow, but it was amazing. Sandra Jan-Hughes. I love Amy Adams' Lois Lane. I like her Lois. She's not my favourite Lois by any stretch of the imagination. Margot Kidder and Erica Durance are my favourite Lois Lanes. John, I could talk about Smallville all day. John, please talk about Smallville. Just set me off. Talk about Smallville because that show is my obsession. Let's talk Smallville, man. Let's talk. If you want to talk Smallville, talk Smallville. It is my obsession. It's the best live action version of DC as far as I'm concerned. Not that I don't love the other versions, but this thing was put together beautifully on a small budget. What an achievement. What an achievement. So if you want to talk Smallville, because all you have to do is set me off. I used to be called Smallville Mad on Twitter. I used to write, you know, on Facebook, they used to have notes, right? Every day I used to do Smallville, the savior of Superman. It was like a daily article about Smallville. That's how fucking obsessed I was with it. Obsessed. I used to argue with other fans. I hated the shippers. But I loved the show. It was an amazing show. What a show that was. And Smallville is proof that you can have a multitude of tones. Ronnie Dodge, hey mate, I'm back. Oh, I didn't know you went. Did you tell me you went? But welcome back anyway. You're a bit like those people in Rent-A-Ghost. You just vanish. I take my mistress in makings to the Meeker's house. Who remembers Rent-A-Ghost? If you want to be a smarty pants core, Rent-A-Ghost. I used to love Rent-A-Ghost. Sanders and Reviews. I remember when Amy Adams was in Smallville, they voted that episode the worst episode ever of Smallville. I love that episode. I love the analogy of anorexia, using it with the Meteor Rock milkshake and all of that. She did a great job. It was a great story and a great episode. And it's great that she started off in Smallville, then she became Lois Lane. Wow. I think she maybe, I mean, I wouldn't swap her for Erica Durance, but I think she hasn't been treated fairly as Lois Lane. Samjan reviews, is Amy Adams doing the Enchanted sequel? Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's doing that, and I love that film, and Patrick Dempsey's back for it. I am very, very excited for that movie, and my nieces love it, and we watched it together, and I bought it for them when I realised they watched it once, and they loved it, and I sent it to them, and they were very excited. So, yes, I cannot wait for that sequel. Samjan reviews, will Amy Adams be in The Flash? Probably, but not for long, but I think she will, yeah. It may be the last time you ever see Amy Adams as Lois Lane. That's my prediction. She even said a couple of years ago that she was done and they didn't want to use her anymore, but then she was told off and she kind of corrected what she said. So, yes, I think we're going to see everyone in The Flash, really, especially from the DCEU. It's important. You've got to show people what the DCEU is before you reboot it. You have to set that structure up. It's a big movie. It's a big, big gamble what they're doing with this rebooted DCEU. Samjan reviews, why won't she be Lois Lane anymore? I feel that there's multiple versions of Lois Lane. I think they want to move away from her. And I think she's such a critically acclaimed actress, she doesn't have to waste her time where she's not really wanted. She's a Snyder pick. That's an issue. I just think I can't imagine her remaining. Maybe she'll get a few cameos. I just don't see it, Sam. Again, it's not something I want to see happen. It's something I'm predicting is going to happen. Samjan reviews, will she be in Man of Steel 2? If there's a Man of Steel 2, I would imagine so. But again, after Flashpoint, so many things are going to change. Who knows what Lois Lane will use? Samjan reviews, will she be in Shazam 2? That's a good question. Maybe. But she's a busy lady, don't forget, so I don't know. But maybe. John, Annette O'Toole was great in Smallville. Annette O'Toole was great in Superman 3 as Lana Lang. She was great in Smallville. She was a regular on Smallville right through to the end of season 6. Then the best thing they did with her was in season 9 when they made her the Red Queen. How emotional was that when Clark goes to her, I'm gonna need the Book of Rayo or whatever it is right back. And he just looked at her and I'm thinking, it's gonna fucking kick off here. And that was great, making her the Red Queen. I thought that was awesome. So that was great. She was great. John Schneider, best Jonathan Kent ever. No question about that. The problem is with John, you can't really talk to him on Twitter. He's too busy promoting himself, so that's a shame. But for me, the way he was written and the way he performed it and took it seriously, you just wish the guy was your dad. That's how good Schneider's Jonathan Kent was. Ronnie Dobbs got to see the mess of the DCEU at the beginning in The Flash before it goes on to a great journey. Ooh. Let's stir that pot, Ronnie. I love it. It's a very big thing they're doing, Ronnie. And, it's all about the execution, as I keep on saying. This isn't what Andy Muschietti's doing and what he's been tasked to do is a very big thing. And it has to work for them. This is the problem. I think there'll be a lot of test screenings for that movie because they're going to want to make sure it works for the audience. So I think they'll have plenty of reshoots. That's just my prediction. So I think it might be maybe in my ballpark to get a test screening for that one once they're done with it. Which is a way off right now, of course. We're talking maybe next year or later this year. but I expect them to. Yeah, they're gonna want people's opinions on that one. Yes, Annette O'Toole, Michael Rosenbaum, sensational as Lex. Tom Welling, absolutely the perfect pick as Clark Kent. Lana Lang, Kristen Krug, amazing. Erica Durance as Lois, amazing. John Glover as Lionel, sensational. Cassidy Freeman as Tess was great as well. Callum Blue was okay as Zod. They were all great. The castings for Smallville were sensational. I mean, they were perfect. And I'm talking about the regular. Now, Alison Mack, I'm talking about the regulars. Alison Mack was great as Chloe, an original character. Unfortunately, Alison got herself in a lot of trouble, and it's just a tragedy for me because I really looked up to her, and it's just a shame. The sun is out, the sky is blue, and it's raining. Da, 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 da. It's raining in my heart. Smallville had great music, great special effects. The show was amazing for its budget. Sensational. I don't think Arrowverse, apart from the first 2 seasons of Flash and Arrow, comes anywhere near Smallville. Dave Ethan, what do you mean mess, Ronnie? He means that the DCEU currently or began as a mess, and now Walter Hamada is going to sort it out after Flashpoint with the reboot. I think that's what he means, Dave Ethan. Come on, Ronnie, explain yourself. Come on, where's Ronnie? Oh, Dave Ethan, oh. As we know, the Snyderverse is a little bit divisive, and some people think it's great, and some people don't think it's great. And I like Snyder's 3 movies, but it is messy. As a franchise, it is messy for sure. You go from Man of Steel to Wonder Woman 84. Keep talking, keep talking. Ronnie George, the mess that has happened over the years from Snyder and other directors, but some fans are too invested in one director. But onwards and upwards, Dave Ethan, depends on perspective. Yeah, of course, Dave. Ronnie has one perspective, and you have another, obviously. Yeah, of course. But as I say, when you look at the whole franchise from Man of Steel to Wonder Woman 84, it's disjointed. I think, Dave, you could at least concede that. Now, of course, if they allowed Snyder to start from Man of Steel and do his arc and enact flashpoints so somebody else could continue it, it probably would have been the best idea. Once you were in the middle of the Snyderverse, you should have just gone on with it. Because, or at least, even if you end it quickly and let him do one more movie to finish his story, but it's difficult. Everyone has different perspectives, Dave. That's the whole point, isn't it? Social media displays those perspectives. Some people can't constructively have a debate, I'm afraid. Some people are not mature enough to have opposing opinions and have a constructive debate, I'm afraid. And I think emotional intelligence is very important in life. And unfortunately, there are so many people on the internet who have no intelligence whatsoever. They're what I call as pie eaters. Pie eaters have got too many crumbs in their head to actually think straight. Pie eaters can be trolls. There's a lot of pie eaters out there. I think we can say this. Zack Snyder didn't invent Superman, he didn't invent Batman, and he didn't invent DC. DC have been around since around 1938. And as much as I like Zack's 3 movies, some fans do seem to think he invented the whole thing. And he didn't. Meghan has had a child. Isn't that exciting? Dave, Ethan, how's the AC working? What, my air conditioning? I just switched it off. Ronnie Dodge is working fine. Ronnie Dodge, Zack is not DC. I don't care what the worshipping fans say. They will continue without, and that's called that Flash movie. I read out the opinions. That's all I do. As I say, Zack Snyder is a divisive director. He cares about his vision, only his vision. Not too fussed what people think about that vision. But the consequences with that came from him losing his position at DC, of course. Because it does matter what the consumer thinks. And once you take the attitude, it doesn't matter. Now, he has his own fans, and that's great. But when you shave against the grain, you can get cut, right? And in life, you've got to think about all the consumers, not one type. And this is what Warner Brothers are attempting to do. And so the Flash movie is resetting the whole franchise. Ronnie Dodge, no, Zack is all about me, and feel sorry for me. But end of the day, if did what he was told, he would still have his job. Yeah, that's true. Ronnie Dodge, job correction. Yeah, I think that's true. I think when a studio tells you not to shoot anything and you shoot something, then it's like any employment, any relationship between employee and employer. If they tell you not to do something right and you do it, then what do you think is going to happen? And I mean, the movie industry is high stakes. You know, you can't mess around with these people. You're not going to beat them. And I think that Zack was arrogant enough to think because he got the Snyder Cut, he could do whatever he wanted and say whatever he wanted. And by exposing them publicly, he could win again. Dave Ethan, you all heard of Mercury from Twitter. He's been going out on the limb to trash other DC projects from WB. That's not Snyder related. Well, isn't Mercury a Snyder fan, though? Mercury's a Snyder fan, right? I've seen Mercury around. Listen, Dave, he is a Snyder fan, and why is he trashing those DC projects? Come on. Dave Ethan, that's the one. But he's a Snyder fan, isn't he? People who go out of their way to do that, we know where they're from. We know where their loyalties lie. They're not going to create some kind of explosion where people boycott the DCEU. I'm sorry. People are excited for these movies. And DC fans, the ones who haven't been serviced by Zack Snyder, are excited. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, Mercury is a Snyder fan, so not interested in his little biased opinions. Yeah, he is biased. But these people seem to think when they say things against WB, all of a sudden they're going to hear an announcement that the multiverse strategy has been cancelled. You know, these people are too naive. They don't get it. Their words hold no power. Don't they understand? Ronnie Dodge, not in a good mood. I don't know if you can tell. I can tell, yeah. Sorry about that. I'm sorry you're not in a good mood. Believe you me, Ronnie, I have my bad moods. I obviously try and keep them off of here. I think once I exploded at someone a few weeks ago during the day. I think it was the Big Mouth Daily Live when he started talking shit about Snyder not having anything to do with the first Wonder Woman, and then I lost it because at the end of the day he was talking shit. And yeah, I wasn't in a good mood, so I exploded at him. But yeah, normally I keep my private life private, and I come in here as a kind of a distraction to talk geek, because geek's my favourite thing in the world. Ronnie Dodge, Hot Take Tuesdays, I remember. Yeah, we haven't actually seen him since, so I think I drove him away. Sorry about that, but I'm afraid some people want to say stuff, but they don't want a response. But the internet is a reactive platform, right? So if you say something like a domino, if you've got a row of dominoes and I push one over, most of them will fall over. So on reactive platforms, if you say something, you're going to get a reaction. John, the character I am most looking forward to seeing in the Suicide Squad is King Shark. I've been excited, John, for King Shark ever since I heard him announced. It's amazing that James Gunn decided to use him, but that's the kind of thing Gunn does. It's genius to use Sylvester Stallone as the voice of King Shark as well. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. Because, of course, Sylvester Stallone is a legend. So King Shark's going to be awesome. Awesome, I tell you. But that was exciting to hear that King Shark was in the movie. I was shocked. I genuinely, I didn't expect that. So, you know, when you have characters like that, I mean, King Shark's one of the most popular characters in DC. John, I think he's going to be the funny character. Dave Ethan, Hand. Yeah, I can't wait. Brilliant gag. Ronnie Dodge, unpopular opinion. I'm glad Snyder is not continue his universe because that shot of a dead Wonder Woman made me mad. Oh, right. You're a bit like Bobcat, aren't you? Well, your favourite character is killed. Well, basically, it's the same rules as Harley Quinn being killed. She won't get killed, actually, because they'll undo everything that he's done. But it was a pretty compelling moment, but that's Snyder. Snyder goes against the grain. There's no question about it. And he goes against the grain on purpose. He gets off on the reaction. He does. So when people try and play the victim about Zack, oh, people attack him, he likes it. He likes it. And he's admitted that. He said he doesn't care what people say about Batman v Superman. It's just that they're talking about it that he loves. So that tells you something, right? He's waving the red rag purposely. I don't think that's any way to be a storyteller, but there you go. If you're purposely doing things like that, Ronnie Dodge, King Shark was reading a book upside down in the other trailer. That's right, yeah, hilarious. I think you're going to enjoy King Shark, definitely. James Gunn has a certain way of making films, and he certainly makes them really, really entertaining. Bring on the Suicide Squad in August. Not long now. Listen, I'm actually surprised how Zack and Ray Fisher conducted themselves after the Snyder Cut was greenlit. It's a bit weird. You catch more flies with honey than with salt. It was just an odd way to treat people who had just given you something and potentially could have, resurrected the whole franchise for you. It's odd. Ronnie Dodge, Snyder goes against comic book canon, which is enough to upset any true DC fan. That's true. DC fans and book fans don't like canon being messed with. That's one thing. We've seen the same thing with Doctor Who, of course. So fans don't like that. And I think it's okay to do it once or twice, but when you keep on doing it, yeah, people are going to be triggered. Ronnie Dodge, I'm on one tonight. So sorry, no problem at all. Keep it going. Keep stirring the pot. It's fun. Dave Ethan, I remember seeing a photo of King Shark eating a skull where the caption reads out ancient lamination chon or something like that. Nice. He's going to be awesome. That's all you need to know. But remember, everyone, comic book movies must never have humor. Because nobody's ever had humor in their films before and had other tones in their films like drama and emotion. Snyder doesn't have much humor in his films, and that's fine. But mainstream movies do. That's why they're mainstream movies. Ronnie Dodge, it's weird Ray Fisher was all quiet until the cut was announced, and he opened his mouth attacking everyone who didn't agree with his agenda. Yes, it was shocking. From the moment he said, I take back all the nice things I said about Joss, I was like, what? And at first I was supportive towards that. I think we all were. But then it just went too far, didn't it? It's just a sad situation all round, really, isn't it? Someone like me just wants to enjoy my films and TV, and when you see these people constantly waving the red rag, it's very, very difficult. Then they play the victim when they're attacked, but you're triggering people, my friend. It's like the way he did with the angry black man thing. Now, Jeff Johns and WB meant they didn't want to see a black man represented in a negative way. He knew that, but he twisted it to make them look racist. That's the kind of person you're dealing with. He's a manipulator. He doesn't care about DC. He doesn't care about Cyborg. He cares about his own political narrative, and he's using this situation to forward that narrative. It's pretty obvious to me. Any news? Let's see. This is a funny one, actually. This is from Spoiler Man Leak Skywalker. He's actually called something. He's called I forgot what he's called, but he's funny. He keeps on changing his name. Heavy spoilers. That's it. This is really funny. Ronnie Dodge. I supported him until he attacked Walter Hamada. That is when he crossed the line. Then I agree. So this is from Heavy Spoilers. Heard from Reddit that Matt Reeves got made to turn the Batman into a porno because Rob and Zoe Kravitz refused to stop having sex. on the Batmobile. She got pregnant, and now they're insisting that the child has to be Robin or Batgirl in the next movie. WB are furious. Yeah, that's really funny. That's funny. It's good to take the piss out of these agenda people, isn't it? How effing dare you, Warner Media? Now I'm pissed. Ray Fisher. Yeah, that's the size of it, isn't it, Dave? Yes, I don't have much time for him anymore. Just looking for some news. Doesn't look like we've got any news. There's really not much going on, is there, at the moment? Dare, typos. Oh, yeah, I do typos all the time. We all do. And those assholes at Twitter still don't have an edit function. Imagine how pathetic they are, what their mentality is. So, no news tonight, everyone. Unless something happens when I'm asleep. And that's when it happens, because in America, of course, it's still daytime when I go to sleep about midnight. We have 3 people in the chat. We have 5 likes. It's a bit of a dead Sunday night. John, when do you think we will hear more about DC fandom? Oh, I think we'll be hearing a lot about it in the coming weeks for sure, John. It will be spread out until October. But yeah, you can expect a lot of hype over DC fandom in the next few months, which of course is so exciting for all of us. What a great thing these people have done with DC fandom. It's genius. Making it all about the fans, of course, is also genius, because without us, they absolutely have nothing. Richie Mo, no notification again, for fuck's sake. What are you talking about, Mick? We started with a possible plot leak for Shazam Fury of the Gods with the love interest, which is Miss Rachel Ziegler, who could be manipulating and seducing Billy Batson as she pretends to be a member of his skull. I've been talking about the lies that go with the Batman, saying what utter bullshit they are. Ronnie's sounding off about Zack Snyder, as usual. And yes, we're just having a chat here, Richie, and welcome to the chat. I started half an hour early today. I don't know why your notifications are not working. Maybe you need to clear the cache on your YouTube account. Maybe you need to uninstall your YouTube and reinstall it. These things normally help. I don't know. I'm not a techie, but I think they do help. I'm feeling tired. If I fall asleep, just watch me sleep. Be fun. It's funny, isn't it? Growing up, we didn't have many superhero movies, but it's funny. The first movie I ever saw was Superman the movie. That's nuts. That became my favorite movie as a kid and made Superman my favorite hero. But we didn't have these cinematic universes then. And there was no debates. We loved Superman. You know, even the rubbish Superman films we loved. We all went, me and my mates all went to the cinema to see Quest for Peace. And we actually loved it, even though it's flawed, big time. And the film's a betrayal, really. But it's fun. Rishi Mo, I have a look because I just turned every notification back on to get yours, and I think I've got too many. Ah, maybe. Maybe that's it. Got to sort those notifications out, my friend. We need the chatty people in the chat. Dave Ethan, mine was the Three Musketeers, 93 or 94. Is that with the Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart and Sting song? Make it all for love, all for one. Oh yeah, I love Bryan Adams. Of course, I love Sting as well, and Rod Stewart. But Bryan Adams, I've been to his concerts a few times. And Bon Jovi. Oh dear, dear, dear. Are we keeping you up, Mick? No, of course not. It's just been a long weekend, hasn't it? Oh, Rishi Mo. Why is Grace talking crap about the Batman? Because she seized on an opportunity after Doomcock was talking shit. So now she's saying her sources are saying it's something to do with mental health or some nonsense like that. She's just talking shit, of course. Grace Randolph always talks shit, Richie. She's the manipulator of the innocent, and plus she has an agenda because she's a Zack Snyder fan as well. God, pop-ups go away. I am not going to renew my spamming detector or whatever you do. Thank you very much. But Grace Randolph is not a woman to be believed. She's just another opportunist. They really have got it in for the Batman, haven't they? They really have. I'm sure Matt and the studio will come out eventually because it has to be addressed. Because these people cannot be allowed to mouth off their bullshit and lies. That's absolutely a thing. Dave Even, as if Grace was a Snyder fan to begin with. She wasn't. I don't think she was. Somehow she basically she doesn't like Man of Steel. She hates Man of Steel, but she loves BVS, and that's how it all started. And all of a sudden, she connected to Snyder. Snyder uses her. She's a means to an end. And of course, that's great for her bottom line. Because I don't think she interviews many people from the industry because nobody likes her. Rishi Mo, Bryan Adams, Everything I Do was number one for 12 weeks when I was a kid. Now that's showing my age low. Well, how old was I? I was, I think I was living with my, maybe living with my girlfriend or moved out. 1991. Jeff Hill, what's up, big mouth? Fine, thanks. How are you doing, Jeff? Dave Ethan, but why? Why what? Why is she lying? Because she's a liar. So she can get subs and views, my friend. She wants to look like she's got her ears to the ground. Yes, so Bryan Adams, Everything I Do from the film Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was number one for 12 weeks. Dave Ethan about Zack Snyder. Well, she's a Snyder fan. I tell you what it is. Zack's got a lot of fans. She thought I can get myself a lot of subscribers. Now all his stans stan her. So it's a good business initiative. But she doesn't really stan him. She's playing a game. I've seen her movie opinions. Her movie opinions are terrible. She hasn't got a clue. And this is a woman who's actually acted in the industry. Imagine if she didn't know anything about the industry. This is someone who should know. But that argument she had with Kathy Yan on Twitter that time was hilarious. I love that. Dave Ethan, a dangerous one, to be honest. She's a strange one for sure. Let's get the aircon back on. Welcome to the 2 new viewers. We've been talking DC tonight. We've been talking about a possible Shazam plot leak. We've been talking about the nonsense spoken about Matt Reeves, the Batman, and quite a few hot takes. And they went again. Dave Ethan, I forgot, do or did you ever have a cat? That's a very random question. I have 3 stray cats. Richie Mo, I'm back. It's my connection. Oh, right, okay. Yes, bad internet connections are the fucking worst, aren't they? So what are we all looking forward to for the films? Chaos. Hello. Hello, Chaos. What are you all looking forward to in the future of the DCEU? What's your number one thing you're excited about? Chaos, I remember your Insta stories you used to do. They were jokes. Chaos, I still do them. I still do them. Dave Ethan, Black Adam. Yeah, I'm very excited for Black Adam. And imagine if The Rock becomes DC Films president. How awesome would that be? Chaos, ha 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 ha. Jeff, 1, Reeves Batman, 2, Reeves Batman, 3, Reeves Batman. Sequel, yeah. I'm excited for the Batman. Bring it on. No, still no news. What am I looking forward to? Chaos, you English. I was born in the UK. I was raised in the UK, but my parents are Greek Cypriot. And I now live in Cyprus. Rishimo, I love magical type legends, so Shazam, Black Adam, and Aquaman 2 are my most anticipated, but The Flash is going to be huge. Yeah, I think The Flash is because of what they're doing. I think I'm really, really looking forward to The Flash. I think that's the one. Chaos, that's cool, that. Thank you, Chaos. Just a humble human being with humble origins. Chaos, I like Flash. Yeah, the Flash is a great character. We're talking about the Flash movie that's coming in 2022, which is going to reset the entirety of the DCEU, which for me is very exciting. No Bobcat tonight. He's done the Moon Knight flip. Although sometimes he just watches, I think. Maybe he didn't like my advice I was giving him about his girlfriend today, right? I was just trying to be honest. Chaos, you loved it. You loved this Marvel SHIT, don't you? Chaos, we're talking about DC. No, I'm more a DC fan than Marvel. But yes, I'm a big nerd. Yes, I love films. I love TV. Jeff Hill, do you think DC can ever catch up to Marvel in terms of box office? Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Comedy Video Free. I'm a fan of your TikTok videos. Thank you, Comedy Videos. Comedy Videos, you are a legend. Thank you, Comedy Videos. you are a legend as well. We are all fucking legends, just for our heart beating. So I want to talk about what Jeff Hill just kind of spoke about there. Do you think DC can ever catch up to Marvel in terms of box office? The DC IP should be making $1 billion a movie, right? Richie Mo, one thing Zach got right for me was the sci-fi and supernatural elements, and having Batman interact with it, which is what Nolan and I think Reeves is going to miss. Well, do you know what? Obviously, there's elements in the comics and the animation where Batman's in space sometimes and mixing with these different kind of supernatural characters, which is great. But I think most Batman fans prefer him to be grounded. John, I'm looking forward to seeing what they are going to do with the Batgirl movie. Me too, John. Right, listen. So the DC IP is a multi-billion-dollar IP potentially. You are doing something wrong if every DC movie doesn't at least make $1 billion. That's the potential of the IP. They should all be making $1 billion. They should be doing as well, if not better, than the MCU. But they've underachieved because Snyder is divisive, right? As much as I love his films, he's divisive. So that's the problem. So can they catch up with this new multiverse strategy? I think they can, and I think they will, Jeff. I absolutely do believe that because I think the plan they're doing now is better than the plan they had before because this will attract a broader audience. And a broader audience likes a serious film, but he also likes a bit of laughs. How many of us loved Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, right? When there's loads of gags and stuff, right? But there's also a dark moment with Short Round and Indy. So you can have a mixture, can't you? Richie Mo, John, I am looking forward to seeing what they are going to do with the Batgirl movie. You've already read that. Richie Mo, characters like Man-Bat, a true Bane with Venom, Solomon Grundy, Poison Ivy, and Ra's al Ghul, and the Lazarus Pit. Yeah, they're supernatural characters, my friend, but they're still, in a way, kind of grounded at the same time. And I mean, why weren't they used in the DCEU? Batman should have had his own string of movies and they should have set Batman up properly. That's what Matt Reeves is trying to do. Jeff Hill, I hope you're right. I am unsure if movies like Blue Beetle, you mean, Zatanna and Shazam 2 are $1 billion movies, though definitely Black Adam, Flash, Batman, and Superman. Right, Jeff, I agree with you. Like, it's Ant-Man. Ant-Man will never make $1 billion, right? But, and Shazam will probably never make $1 billion. But why? And Blue Beetle probably won't make $1 billion. And they don't expect those movies to make that kind of money, right? But most of those characters should be able to. And if you create a franchise where everyone's saying, I don't care what film it is, this is DC, I'm going to watch it anyway, like they do with the MCU, then the potential is limitless. And I believe they can equal Marvel and go beyond Marvel. David Even, why can't we have variety of tones? That's what DC Comics is all about. Exactly. As I say, Star Wars, E.T., all these films we grew up with always had humor and seriousness in them. But a lot of Snyder stands don't see that. Richie Mo, a grounded Batman, though, I'd like to see the Dollmaker, Professor Pig, a true Zaz, and even Calendar Man. Because Batman can still be grounded with all these characters. He's not supernatural. They are. John, do you think we will get Poison Ivy movie? It's difficult with Poison Ivy. I don't think she'll get a movie, but I think they'll set her up to be in someone else's movie. I just don't think people are going to sit there watching Poison Ivy for a couple of hours. That's just my opinion. But put her in somebody else's movie, I think people will be really excited for that. I think Catwoman is more relatable than Poison Ivy, I think, and I think she has more fans, as we know. Hit me with your questions, boys and girls. Or boys, there's no girls in here. Do you know what? Thinking of TikTok, those first posts those women do is hilarious, isn't it? It's literally, hey. It's just nuts. It's just nuts, people. The world's gone mad. But dare you stitch one of their videos? Ooh, trouble. And I think if women can first trap, us men should be able to first trap as well. So we're all looking forward to something within the DCEU. I think what you're going to get from this, the future of the DCEU and live action DC, when everything is canon, you're going to see every character being possibly adapted. I think with Snyder's DCEU, it was very limited to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, those type of characters. He was really only interested in those type of characters and the Justice League. Richie Mo, from the Batman teaser, it doesn't look like we'll get Poison Ivy. She's too much of a supernatural character for the grounded Tone Reeves is going for. No, I don't agree. I still think you could have Poison Ivy in that universe, Richie. I definitely think you could. But he's in Earth 2. You can still have a Poison Ivy in Earth 1 anyway. That's the whole point of the multiverse. You've got to expand your thinking. When you've got a multiverse strategy, everyone is possible to be adapted. "20 minutes to go, everyone. I would have been on here for about 2 hours. Wow, I've never done 2 hours on here. Dave Ethan, think. What are we thinking about, Dave? John, if they do a Catwoman movie, I hope it's not like Birds of Prey. Well, John, do you remember the Halle Berry Catwoman film? I actually think I prefer that to Birds of Prey. But yeah, I'd love a proper, a Todd Phillips DC Black Label Catwoman movie. But you can't have her being bitten by cats and then her being Catwoman. You have to find a deep, grounded way of making her that way. It's difficult. It's easier with the Joker because he's an entertainer, Arthur Fleck. It makes sense. But how do you make someone a grounded Catwoman? Obviously, the cat burglar thing is a way of doing it. Jeff Hill, do you like Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman? I feel like she has an exotic look that lends itself to the character. Well, she was certainly cast on DNA. She's obviously Jason Momoa's stepdaughter, and that's why she's in. But I like her look. I've never seen her in anything, but I'm excited to see what kind of Selena Kyle she gives us. John, that movie was bad. Yeah, it was. Richie Mo, it's like the Nolan verse, though, Mick. I can't imagine Poison Ivy growing stuff all over and using pollen pheromones, lol. Well, not in the Nolan verse because Nolan wasn't interested in supernatural characters. But I think that he's not a Batman fan. Matt Reeves is actually a proper Batman fan. He stands the lot of those comics. So he would never say, I'm not doing this or not doing that. He's not that kind of person. He's not that type of creative, and he'll find a way. And if he's developing his own Earth 2 as well, which is ever so exciting. So anything is possible. But Nolan wasn't interested. Nolan is not a Batman fan. To be honest with you, I don't even know why he adapted Batman. It's weird, but it worked for sure. And he made his name on it, even though he made better movies than that before. I mean, he did Memento, which is probably his best movie. Richie Mo, Zoe Kravitz reminds me of the Catwoman in the Batman 66 TV show. Interesting. I'm not sure about that. I like the one in the 1960 movie or the 66 movie. Oh, I fancied her. Miss Kitka. Oh, Miss Kitka, yeah. I liked Miss Kitka. What a name, though, Miss Kitka. Get it? That's nuts. We have 6 people in the chat, 6 likes. That's a great ratio for a very, very small, unsuccessful YouTuber. Thank you for coming in. The few people that do and the few people that chat, I appreciate you. Your support will never be forgotten. This is not a big channel. This is not a successful channel. It's just me having a chat with a bunch of geeks and nerds, which I'm really enjoying. My ambition to make this channel successful will never go before you people who love films and TV, and that's what I like doing, and that's what's important here. Jeff Hill, I almost feel like James Wan should have a more involved role in shaping the DC universe. Dude has the golden touch when it comes to franchises. He's an insane box office record. James Wan is a genius. That's why I have no doubts about Aquaman 2. None. That guy is brilliant, and I love the way he talks as well. John, I'm looking forward to seeing the Riddler in the Batman. Yes, I like this version of the Riddler. This is a Riddler out for revenge. These people fucked his city up, right, and it's affected his life. He wants answers. He wants Batman to get those answers. He wants to expose the Waynes and the other wealthy people who have fucked up this city. I think it's a great version, and I'm very excited. Richie Mo, we appreciate you, Mick. I popped in and out of your channel since to come in sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching, low. Oh, well, thank you. I used to like that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here. And you are welcome, my friends, especially my enemies. What is it? No touching. I don't do the touching. That's it. I remember that. I stopped that because I thought the intro was too long, and I thought people weren't getting put off by the start of the video, so I stopped that. But I used to love doing that. It's because I couldn't do a proper intro, so I created one. Ricky Mo, ha 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 ha. Richie, no, not Ricky Mo. Richie, no, not Richie, no. Richie Mo, yeah, sorry. Ha 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 ha. So that was fun, yes, I love doing that. Dave Ethan, good times. They were good times, weren't they? Richie Mo, it's a good laugh, bro. It certainly is. It certainly is, and I'm here to make people laugh. I do things like that to make people laugh, and I don't care if people laugh at me or laugh with me. It doesn't matter. As long as you're making people happy, it doesn't matter. Ego goes out the window with me. I don't care. That's why I do all the stuff I do on the internet. It doesn't matter to me. Because, you can't take yourself seriously. You gotta chill. You gotta chill in life. But it was fun, and I got myself involved with the fight to release the Snyderverse, the Snyder Cut. They were good times. Unfortunately, times are changing now, but I'm trying to keep it positive and fun. Richie Mo, the Batman is giving me Series 7 vibes. Yes, yes. Imagine, right? Think about this, right? I mean, this would be sick. If he did this, this would be beyond Snyder. What if the Riddler turns up at the end with Catwoman, Selena Kyle's head in a bag, like in Seven? Imagine how fucked up that would be. Or Commissioner Gordon's or someone's. That would be nuts, wouldn't it? That would be John Lithgow level Dexter season 4. Jeff Hill, lol, dude, I love the idea. I'd love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see Selena's head in a bag, but it'll be Jeff Hill, Patterson yelling, "What's in the box?" Oh, yeah, that's it. What's in the box? You know what? I like Seven, but as a film, as a whole film in its entirety, it's pretty gritty and grim, and it's okay. But that film only comes to life and remembered because of the head in the box. Poor Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, and you never saw it coming. Now, this is what I'm talking about. When they talk about The Last Jedi and they talk about Johnson kind of removing people's expectations, and they were saying that's a good thing. In concept, it's good, but the way Johnson, you see, let me give you an analogy between The Last Jedi and Seven. Last Jedi gave us shocks that underwhelmed us, and Seven gave us a shock that overwhelmed us. That's the difference. If you're going to do that, do it to overwhelm the fans and the consumer, not underwhelm them, Ryan. That's the problem with your movie. What's in the box? It's Big Mouth's head. All his enemies. Cut it up. He said something on Twitter that upset them, so they thought they'd teach him a lesson. The Gaming Mania. Sup, Mick? Kind of late to the party here, so what's going on with the Batman? Basically, Doomcock started spreading lies, and then Grace Randolph echoed those lies, saying the WB have concerns about the darkness of the movie and how people's mental health will be affected. I think she's talking bullshit. But all studios have concerns about all films once they see them. It's not a big deal. It's not a problem. We've been talking about a Shazam 2 potential leak, about a romantic situation between Rachel Ziegler's character and Billy Batson. I think she's out to manipulate young Billy. We'll see what happens there. And we've been talking about the normal stuff. Jeff Hill, you do weightlifting, BM. You got some pretty massive arms. Oh, thank you. I also, I do some weightlifting, but I also lift my disabled dad, which helps as well. Dave Ethan, there was an old theory about Seven was taking place in Gotham City. Really? That's nuts. Imagine if that's true. But I can't remember what studio did Seven. It wasn't Warner Brothers, was it? Or was it? That's nuts, though, isn't it? And then Kevin Spacey becomes Lex Luthor in Metropolis. Kevin Spacey is the best thing about that film. I know what he's done is wrong, but he's the best thing. Once he enters that film's on another level. That film's just tiptoeing along, right? And if we don't get the head in the box and Spacey turning up, I don't think anyone's ever remembering Seven. Jeff Hill, what's your favourite depiction of Gotham? In retrospect, I found the Nolan one's pretty bland compared to Burton Gotham. Yes, Burton's Gotham has imagination. Everything Tim does, he takes you out of your reality. And that's great. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these brand new versions of Gotham that just look like a city, an ordinary city you could go to. Richie Mo, you can't treat Luke like that, especially when he means so much to so many people for so many years, and then they give Ray extra powers like force projection with no training at all. I always assumed that they were going to give us a reasonable explanation why Ray was so proficient in the Force. I love Daisy Ridley as an actress and a person, and I thought, especially in The Force Awakens, I thought that Ray was a pretty good character with good personality, and I thought her and Finn had some great screen chemistry, better than Tom Holland has, and not Zatanna, the girl who plays MJ in the MCU Spider-Man. So I didn't really have much of an issue with Ray, but you're right. You know, and you know what? To a certain point of view, I can understand what Johnson's saying. You know, he's old, he's a bitter old man, but nobody wanted that. Nobody asked for that. Nobody wanted to sit there and see Luke Skywalker become Victor fucking Meldrew, right? Rishi Mo, Rian Johnson divided us far more than Zach ever did. I'd rather the way Zach divided the audience, because at least his films look beautiful and they're epic movies. And at the end of the day, listen, it's also not Johnson's fault totally. If Johnson was given a Star Wars story away from the sequel trilogy or his own trilogy, I think people would have a more flattering opinion of him. And that's down to Kennedy, Lucasfilm, and Disney. Jeff Hill, Rian Johnson, F Star Wars. I still love him for Looper, one of my fave time travel movies. Agreed? Yeah, I mean, I never abused him. I did quote tweet him a few times, but I never abused him because I think that's out of order. Joel Davies, Mickey, will you be watching Logan versus Floyd tonight? No, I can't stand Logan Paul. I think he's an immoral person, and I'm an immoral person, but not to the level he is, right? What he did in that forest, in those woods, is unforgivable, and I will never forgive that. He ain't a real boxer. It's all play acting, and he's not a real boxer. That's the end of it. If he actually if he wasn't pretending and playing proper boxing matches, he would get knocked out every time. My opinion, sorry. Richie Moe, The Force Awakens started off with so much potential, you're right. And they fumbled letting Johnson run wild, then getting Abrams to come back and shoehorn everything from the two films into one. Well, they begged, Abrams only wanted to do The Force Awakens, which is nuts. For me, either, JJ, you do all three films and you do what you're going to do, right? What you teased in The Force Awakens, or don't bother, right? Why not get Rian Johnson to do the trilogy from The Force Awakens? Then maybe we would have had more flattering opinion of what he was going to do. But putting someone in a middle movie, allowing him to write and direct and do whatever he wants, is insane. So you can't put it all on Rian Johnson's dog. John, I watched Batman Returns yesterday and I forgot how good it was. Batman Returns is one of my favourite Batman movies. It is sensational. Great Selena Kyle, great Penguin, great Batman. Max Schreck, I loved him. It's a great film. Tim Burton is a genius. I wish we could have seen his a Superman movie. Jeff Hill, JJ great at starting things, not at tying it up. He's a businessman, I'm afraid. It's very sad because what he's done in television was sensational, and it really is a shame. I like Star Trek 2009. I think Star Trek Into Darkness is a great movie, but it's not a great Star Trek movie. And I think that's an important way to describe it. I wonder if anyone's proposed to anyone on a YouTube live before. Amy Adams, will you marry me? Richie Moe, he set up the Knights of Ren, and Johnson never used them then. He came back and used them, and they got killed nearly straight away. They looked amazing. Yeah, he just wanted to use them slightly, obviously. But yeah, it's great that he brought them back. You see, I don't think The Rise of Skywalker, that's the third one, isn't it? The Rise is a bad movie. It's just because the middle movie messed everything up. So, look, it's difficult. I don't even care about her being called Rey Skywalker. I think that's a tribute from her to the Skywalkers. She didn't come from a good family. She loved Luke. She loved Luke as a father. She was so inspired by Luke, she named herself after him. So I'm not as triggered about Rey Skywalker as other people are. I get it. And I think Rey wasn't a bad character. She was certainly set up well in the first movie. There was so much potential with her. I think a lot of people actually hate her because she's female. I actually believe that, which is a shame, really. But I don't hate her. I certainly don't hate Daisy Ridley. Jeff Hill, what's your most controversial, unpopular movie opinion? Ooh. Oh, well, one of them is, I said it on TikTok today, I've said it before, the MCU sucks, and Kevin Feige lucked into success with the franchise because of the Avengers movie. That's one of my hot takes. But I have many, many hot takes. I've got many, many hot takes, Jeff, for the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry is a creative, bankrupt place with a bunch of alt-left politicians who hate entertainment, hate men, and every time they make a film, they want to make toxic commentary about our agenda. They are not interested in entertainment. They all employ it and cast on DNA. They're not good people. And the industry now is far worse now than it was 40 years ago. But mainly, Jeff, I'm not one for controversial opinions more than loving things. I grew up loving a hell of a lot of good things. I know the old industry was very abusive and toxic to people secretly. Women weren't represented well. Black people and minorities weren't represented and treated badly behind the scenes. And I can't justify that. But in front of the camera, the Hollywood I grew up watching is far superior than the shit we're getting today. Oh, and Superman the movie is the best Superman film. Because I really know that's going to go down well. Richie Mo, that's the thing I love about the Burtonverse and even the Schumacherverse. They are set in magical Gotham with supernatural characters like how the Joker and Catwoman become a penguin and then freeze Ivy. Yeah, that's great. And you know what? Schumacher's Gotham was very futuristic and fantastical as well. And I think, in a way, Gotham should look that way. Gotham should look different to how other cities look because of what it is. John, I hope we hear more about the Gotham PD show soon. So do I, John. Jeff Hill, I have to agree to disagree about Marvel. I think Feige is a genius, and I love the direction they're going. WandaVision is a sign they are willing to really change things up. Well, do you know what? WandaVision started different and then went back to like a typical Marvel movie. So it wasn't that ambitious. He said, let's try this. And I mean, by the third or fourth episode, they were out of there. They weren't even doing the sitcom stuff anymore. I don't think he's a genius. I think he does things that, in layman's terms, are obvious. It's obvious to start a cinematic universe with individual movies. It's obvious to any idiot to do a crossover and have your favorite characters meet up. It's obvious. It's all about the execution. He's good at business, and he knows these characters as well. He's a showrunner. He's an executive producer. He's very good at what he does. Genius, I think, is a bit of a strong term. But I think most of the stuff he's done is obvious. And by the way, Kevin Feige is a big DC fan. Didn't know that. Always takes his kids to see the premiere of a DC movie. And someone said, what are you doing at a DC movie? He says, I love DC movies. So, he's brilliant. Right, everyone, let's start wrapping this up. I've nearly been here for 2 hours, so I'm going to wait till I've been here for 2 hours for that to be some kind of fucking record. I'm so tired for talking non-stop for 10 hours, 2 hours, 10 hours would be too much. Maybe we'll do those charity events one day and do a 24-hour stream. That'd be fun. But yeah, Richie Mo, Superman the movie was my favourite as a kid. And Batman 89 came out, and I've seen a Batman, and I've been a Batman stan since I thought Supes was boring until we got Man of Steel. And it made me fall in love Big Blue again. Superman boring? Never. Superman the movie, he's not boring in. He's not a boring character at all. You see, Richie, there's a distinction. A pure-hearted character with morals isn't boring, right? This is someone from another planet. He's the ultimate immigrant. I always related to Superman more than any other hero or character because he was an immigrant. He didn't belong wherever he went. I love the character, and I've never, ever, ever found Superman boring, and it astonishes me that other people do. Because Man of Steel basically is Superman with all the bells and whistles, the effect, the action, the explosions. That doesn't make Superman exciting. Dave Even, okay, you'll catch you guys later. Take care. Take care, Dave. Jeff Hill, people in the 21st century are too jaded to love a pure, kind-hearted character like Superman. I know it's nuts, right? But believe you me, there's a lot of people who still love Superman the pure-hearted way. You know, people like Rishi don't talk for everyone. John, are you going to watch the new Ghostbusters movie? Yes, John, I'm very intrigued about it. I don't think there's a big kind of momentum or a broader audience for Ghostbusters. It'll make a bit of money. I think people will like it, especially the fans. But I don't really think there's a future for a Ghostbusters universe. But we will see. I understand that, but I was a kid, and compared to the Batman films, it wasn't as exciting, especially when 3 and 4 came out. Do you know what? 3 and 4 had their issues, but I still enjoyed them. because for me, seeing Christopher Reeve as Superman was exciting enough. So I like those Batman films, but they didn't make me think that Superman was boring. Never. And as I say, Man of Steel has all the bells and whistles, but to me, he doesn't make the character more exciting. In fact, Henry's portrayal of Superman is just as straight as Reeve's portrayal. There's no more going on there personality-wise than in Reeve's movies. Now, me personally, I would add a bit of Tony Stark personality into my Clark Kent and Superman. I would just tweak him a little bit to make him feel a bit more interesting if I was writing him. It's something I think that audiences might appreciate. So my Superman would certainly be a bit more sarcastic. Not too much. So basically, I'm Superman. This is the kind of thing I would do, right? I'm Superman. Someone tries to shoot me, right? The bullet bounces off. I turn to the villain and say, where have you been? The Phantom Zone? Little gags like that, I think could work for the audience. Maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they sound shit, but I think they could work. So a little bit of sarcasm from Superman would make him a little bit more interesting as well. I think that's better than making him too dark and broody. It didn't work for the audience. Rishi Mo, Man of Steel, he actually had some of the best Supes fights on the screen. Yes, the fights are good. That doesn't make him more exciting to me. He's just fighting. That's great. That's cool. But that doesn't make him more interesting as a character, in my opinion. Jeff Hill, you into Superman comics? Do you know what? My introduction to Superman and my love for Superman is through the movies. It's through Smallville. Smallville, I mean, Superman the movie made me fall in love with the character. But something about Smallville made me have a deeper love for the character, really made me appreciate him. So I'm not really that knowledgeable about the comics. I know some of the titles, like All-Star Superman's great and things like that, but I'm not well versed in the comics. John, a lot of people hate it, but I really enjoyed Superman 3. Yes, it's an okay movie. First of all, you've got that awesome fight, Superman versus Superman, which is fucking awesome, right? And the film's pretty cool. It's not the best thing ever, but it's not the worst thing ever. Sam Dejan reviews, Superman 3 is a Richard Pryor movie, not a Superman movie. That's a good point. It was pretty much done to display his comic book, his comic timing. It's disappointing because there were better ways of doing a Superman movie. But he was entertaining, and I liked him and Christopher Reeve together in the end as well. So it wasn't a total disaster. The movie made $100 million, which back then was a lot of money. But it was out the same time as Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think. Or was that second one? Maybe that was the second one. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm going to wrap up now. I've been on air for over 2 hours, and I'm losing the will to live. My energy levels are just gone. So thank you for joining in. It's been a fantastic 2 hours. So if you're rewatching this, comment down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Share the channel, the video. Join me over on Twitter @MoviesTVMag. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments, John. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, John. Thanks for the support and your comments. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. UK time, for the Big Mouth Daily Live. Rishi Mo, I was born in 81, so you get how old I was when all the Supes films came out, lol. I love them now, and all, as I appreciate how they were made. And Reeve performance. Me too. I couldn't have said that better myself. Sam Jan reviews. Bye, Sam. Thanks for the comments. Leroy King. Great live. Thank you, Leroy. Thank you, Leroy. Rishi Mo. See you tomorrow, Mick. You see, I'm becoming slurred because I've been talking for over 2 hours. Rishi Mo. See you tomorrow, Mick. Thank you, Richie. Jeff Hill. Bye. Joel Davies. Goodbye, Mr. Mickey. Bye, Joel. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. It's been absolutely great. You're great, whatever you're doing tonight or this morning or this afternoon. Have a good one. See you tomorrow. Check me out on tomorrow mornings, 9 a.m. UK time, the Big Mouth Daily Live. Hopefully we'll have some news for you. Until then, goodbye. I need a drink. Bye. Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Bye-bye.